Welcome back to this channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking about educational videos and some of the most common mistakes that a lot of beginners make when they're making these kind of videos. Now, no one is perfect. I mean, I make these mistakes as well, and just to clear things up, I am not a lecturer. I don't teach at all, but I do trainings for academics, teachers, coaches to make pretty much online videos for their students or their audiences. So a little bit of background about myself. So I've been working in the education industry or in that market for a while now, and these are just some of my observations and some of the things that people make and some of these misconceptions that people have when they're making videos. Like I said, this is just my observation. I mean, everyone might see things differently and might interpret things differently as well. But like I said, this is just me and this is my opinion and how people are making mistakes when they're making these kind of videos. Without further ado, let's get into it. So mistake number one. The first mistake I always see people make when they're making videos is they like to not have a script when they're making a video. This is probably the worst thing someone can do to themselves when they're making a video, especially without a script. And I know that a lot of people will say that, but I've done this presentation or I've lectured this unit or course for 20 years and I know everything inside out. I don't need a script. Now, that might be true, and I'm not dissing anyone or disagreeing with anyone. And I agree that you probably know the material inside out and you know everything. But you got to understand that when you're lecturing in front of class and when you're lecturing or when you're doing a presentation in front of a camera, it's two very different things. I have only met maybe one or two academics that can do the transition between talking to a live audience and talking to a camera. Very different things. First of all, the first thing you need to understand is when you're lecturing in front of an audience, you get feedback. You get to see whether the people in front of you are understanding you. When you're talking to a camera, you're just talking to a camera. The camera's not going to tell you whether what you're saying makes sense to them. It might make sense to your students online, but it might not make sense to everyone online. So the first thing you need to make sure you do is have a script. Make sure you're structuring your lecture. So this leads me down to number two. Number two is structure your videos. Now, the purpose of structuring a video is so you don't ramble. And the reason for that is if a student don't understand you or don't understand what you're trying to say, they can simply just rewind it and watch it again. And you should be able to ask your students to make a comment or email you if they don't understand anything. If you get a lot of inquiries about the same question, then it's probably worth making another video or improving your previous video and how to make things clearer. So all these things takes time and it takes practice. Okay, so tip number three is having your videos in chunks. So what I mean by that is in universities, in colleges, I find that lecturers are able to speak for hours and hours and they can just keep going at a single topic for hours. Now that isn't anything bad. Good, that is really, really good. And the problem with having a video that's going to be 60 minutes long is no one's going to watch it. People are going to argue with me to say that, but there are podcasts out there are videos out there on YouTube that are over an hour long, and people watch all that stuff. And there are videos of documentaries that are an hour long with millions and millions of views. Well, I gotta break it to you, you're not David Attenborough, and you are not going to be able to get the same amount of engagement as David Attenborough. And not many of us are like David Attenborough that can be as engaging and can convey meaningful messages and not be boring. People like us, mere mortals, need to be able to engage in a different way. So what I mean by that is, just say if you have a lecture or a topic that's going to be about 60 minutes long, it might be worth breaking it up into chapters or into chunks. So what I mean is, if a 60-minute video, you can break it up into maybe 4 to 5, 10 to 15-minute videos to make up the 60 minutes. So you can maybe make 4 50-minute videos or make 5 10-minute videos or whatever it is just to make up the 60 minutes. The reason for that is, from my experience, I have noticed that students are less likely to watch a video that is about 60 minutes long. I mean, you'll get a lot of people clicking into the video, but the percentage of people actually finishing it from start to finish is very, very low. Now, I don't know exactly why, but for some reason, students are more likely to watch 4 10-minute videos or 4 50-minute videos opposed to watching one long 60-minute video. You might not agree with that, or you might experience something different, but this is from my experience. When you have 4 separate videos that are about 10 to 15 minutes long, you can chunk it up into different topics. So for example, instead of having one massive video, you can have one video and maybe in 3 up to 4 to 5 topics. And the good thing about having a video that is in 4 parts, or having a video series in 4 parts, is if a student is ever confused with one part of the video in the topic, they can just go back to that video. For example, if a student watched all 4 videos and they found that maybe topic 3 of this video is not as clear, or they don't understand it, or it's a little bit more difficult than all the other ones, so they can just go back to video 3 or topic 3 and just watch that bit again. Whereas if you're in a 60-minute video, if you don't understand something in just say halfway through it, and you want to watch it again the next day, and you got to scrub through it and look for that part, or the student might need to watch the whole entire video, just look for that part again. And it could be quite annoying. Have you ever watched a movie and you don't remember where you got up to, and then you pretty much got to scrub through the whole entire video looking for where you're up to? But imagine if you're watching a video, right, and the slides are exactly the same. How hard would it be for you to find where you were up to if you're just going to be scrubbing through a video that's about 60 minutes long? I can imagine that being very annoying or very difficult. It's a lot harder to do on a lecture slides than on, for example, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings can be 3 hours long, but at least you can see the video cue, right? You can see like, oh, maybe it's they're up to the part where they just started a journey, or where they just got to the mountains, whatever it is. But when you're watching lecture slides, the slides just become exactly the same, and unless you have very colorful slides or very colorful videos, it's going to be pretty hard for your students to pick up where they left off. Awesome, thank you for watching this video, and just a quick conclusion: make sure you script your slides, make sure you structure your slides, and make sure you chunk it up to make it small. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.